We're continuing the incredible story of Saint Dominic's exorcism near Carcassonne. 15,000 demons possessed an Albigensian heretic, and they had just finished begging and weeping, trying to manipulate Saint Dominic into leaving them alone. But Saint Dominic saw through their deception. Now comes the dramatic climax, the moment that would change everything. Saint Dominic stood firm. He was completely unmoved by the pathetic words of those wretched spirits. Despite their tears, their pleas, their promises, he told them clearly, "I will not let you alone until you have answered my question." Remember, Saint Dominic had asked which saint in heaven the demons feared most. It was a question hell desperately wanted to hide. And the demons would try every trick to avoid answering it. Realizing their emotional manipulation had failed, the devils changed tactics. They said they would whisper the answer quietly, privately, so that only Saint Dominic would be able to hear it. "We'll tell you," they seemed to say, "but let's keep this between us." No need for all these people to know. But Saint Dominic understood what they were doing. A truth spoken in secret has no power to convert hearts or strengthen faith. These 12,000 witnesses needed to hear the answer. They needed to know which saint terrified hell itself. So Saint Dominic firmly insisted that the demons answer clearly and audibly. Loud enough for everyone to hear. Public. Undeniable. The demons' response? Complete silence. They simply stopped talking. They shut down entirely. Despite all of Saint Dominic's commands, despite his authority as a priest, the devils would not say another word. They completely disregarded his orders, stubbornly refusing to speak. It was a spiritual stalemate, and Saint Dominic knew exactly what to do. He knelt down right there in front of the 12,000 witnesses. And he prayed to Our Lady with these words, "O most glorious Virgin Mary, I implore you by the power of the Holy Rosary, command these enemies of the human race to answer my question." What happened next was absolutely terrifying. No sooner had Saint Dominic finished this prayer than a glowing flame leaped out of the possessed man's body. Fire poured from his ears, his nostrils, and his mouth. The crowd watched in horror as supernatural flames erupted from this man. Everyone shook with fear. People must have thought the man would be consumed, that they were witnessing someone burn alive. But remarkably, miraculously, the fire did not hurt anyone, not the possessed man, not the people standing nearby, not anyone in the crowd. It was a sign, a demonstration of power, a visible manifestation that heaven was responding to Saint Dominic's prayer. The demons, now in even greater torment, cried out desperately, "Dominic, we beseech you by the passion of Jesus Christ and the merits of his holy Mother and of all the saints, let us leave the body of this man without speaking further." Notice their cunning even here. They invoked sacred names, Jesus Christ, his Holy Mother, all the saints, trying to make their requests seem holy and reasonable. They were still manipulating, still deceiving. They continued, "The angels will answer your question whenever you wish. After all, are we not liars? Why should you want to believe us? Do not torment us anymore. Have pity on us." It was their final attempt. They were essentially saying, "Look, we're demons. We're liars by nature. You can't trust anything we say anyway, so why force us to speak? Let us go, and the angels will tell you the truth instead." It sounds almost reasonable, doesn't it? But Saint Dominic saw through it. He knew the demons weren't refusing to speak out of humility or concern for truth. They were refusing because the truth would glorify the saint they feared and give power to the very devotion, the Rosary, that was defeating them. Saint Dominic's response was firm and unwavering. "Woe to you, wretched spirits, who do not deserve to be heard." Then he knelt down again and prayed to the Blessed Virgin with even greater intensity. "O most worthy Mother of Wisdom, I am praying for the people assembled here, who have already learned how to say the angelic salutation properly. I beg you, for the salvation of those here present, compel these adversaries of yours to proclaim the whole truth here and now before the people." This prayer is beautiful. Saint Dominic called Mary the Mother of Wisdom and acknowledged that the crowd had learned to pray the Hail Mary, the angelic salutation, properly. He was asking Mary to compel her adversaries, her enemies, to speak the truth for the sake of everyone's salvation. And then it happened. Saint Dominic had scarcely finished this prayer when he saw something that took his breath away. The Blessed Virgin Mary herself appeared near at hand, surrounded by a multitude of angels. She was holding a golden rod in her hand, a symbol of authority, of judgment, of divine power. The Queen of Heaven walked forward and struck the possessed man with that golden rod. And then, with all the authority of the Mother of God, She commanded, "Answer my servant Dominic at once." It's important to note that the crowd couldn't see or hear Our Lady. Only Saint Dominic witnessed this incredible vision. But everyone was about to hear the results. The demons had no choice now. They could resist a priest. They could refuse a saint. But they could not disobey the direct command of the Mother of God herself, striking the possessed man with heaven's authority. What the demons were about to reveal would shock everyone and confirm what Saint Dominic had been preaching all along about the power of the Rosary and the glory of Mary. So what's the lesson for us today? First, persistence in prayer matters. Saint Dominic didn't give up when the demons refused to answer. He prayed again, with even greater faith. Second, we need Mary's intercession in spiritual warfare. When Saint Dominic's authority alone wasn't enough, Mary's intervention made all the difference. Third, some truths must be spoken publicly. The demons wanted to whisper their answer privately, but Saint Dominic insisted everyone hear it. Truth spoken publicly has power to convert and strengthen. And finally, heaven responds to prayers prayed through the Rosary. Twice Saint Dominic appealed to Mary by the power of the Holy Rosary, and twice she responded with miraculous intervention. When you face spiritual battles, and you will, remember this story. Remember that Mary is the Mother of Wisdom who commands demons. Remember that persistence in prayer, especially the Rosary, brings heaven's power into our struggles. And remember that no demon can ultimately resist when the Queen of Heaven strikes with her golden rod and commands them to obey.